Okay, so I had my subscribers send in some questions for you group of girls. So I just want you to give your honest answer. It's a mix of a ton of different things, so there's pretty much everything in here, but just be honest. All right, what are some habits that make men attractive?
I love when guys read. I've definitely said this.
Mm-hmm.
I think a really cool date is like cooking dinner together.
Oh, that's fun.
Listening to some like French music, drinking some wine.
Little French cafe vibes.
Yeah. Yeah, I like guys that read.
Mm-hmm.
I like, I like guys that are into like theater and stuff that'll go see a play with me. Or want to like dance or like hang out with my friends. I love when who I'm with is in my friend group, which has been messy sometimes, but like it is really nice like to have that.
When it works out, it's nice.
Yeah, and someone that likes to educate themselves on what's going on and different things, yeah.
So someone who is always willing to learn new things, try new things, have passions, those are really good qualities.
Guy, yes.
Yep.
Definitely working out, like I said before.
A healthy lifestyle.
Yeah,
for
healthy
sure.
lifestyle. They have a good balance between fun and working hard. Like I definitely like ambition.
Yep.
But if you're just a workaholic and you never want to go have a good time or be adventurous, I wouldn't like that. So
having a good balance.
Good balance, yeah.
Yep, that's a big one too.
Just having goals and ambitions and having passions, like even if it's just your work, if maybe you don't have a bunch of hobbies, which is fine, some people don't, but if you're really passionate about what you're doing, or you care a lot about being good at your job, or being a really good friend, like just things like that, like show that you really care about things. If you're just kind of like existing through life and you don't seem to really care about anything, and
that's such a turn off.
It's such a turn off.
But I guess just having like routines, like friends that you hang out with, and like hobbies that you like to do regularly, just like having your own thing going on.
So like having your own life. Like don't be needy and clingy with me or rely on me for your entertainment kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Is cussing a turn off?
Oh man, I swear all the time. I'm pretty bad about it. I think it's funny. But there are circumstances like when you shouldn't be. If we're at a restaurant or in front of like kids or just people that aren't like, you know, are going to be more sensitive to that, then like tone it down. It's kind of like knowing your audience.
For sure.
But like if we're talking,
then it doesn't matter.
As long as it's not directed towards me.
Right.
I actually really don't like a lot of cussing. I feel like it's kind of like trashy.
Yeah.
I don't know, every now and then it's fine, but if someone's like cussing like every other word, I personally don't like it.
That's how I feel too, and I've reacted to videos before where the people are cussing the entire video, and I'm like, do you have any other vocab? Like, do you know any other words? Like, I don't care if you cuss around me or say cuss words every now and then, but if that's the only thing you say all the time, it's like...
It's so aggressive,
let's expand our vocab a little bit.
Too much, yeah.
I think so too.
It seems just like very aggressive.
Yeah.
I don't think so. And if I did, then that's really hypocritical. Yeah, I don't care. I think there's a time and place. Like, for example, like my parents are very strict and they do not ever. So if I bring someone home, I kind of give them a heads up. Can you just be respectful and maybe not do it like while we're around them? That's it. But otherwise, you know, between me and them, I don't care at all.
I think so too. I think there's a time and place for sure. And I try not to do it just because it becomes a very bad habit.
Yes.
If you do it a lot, then it just snowballs, and then you notice yourself using those instead of like other words that you could use, and your vocabulary becomes very narrow.
Yeah, it can make you sound less intelligent.
Number 12, how important is it to share hobbies with the person you're dating?
I think it's important to have like your own separate hobbies. I don't think you necessarily have to have like the same hobbies, but some sort of like shared interests, things that you like to do together.
Yeah, doesn't necessarily have to be a hobby.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to share hobbies, but I think you should respect each other's hobbies. So I do like theater and film stuff, and I feel like it's really important for me, for my partner to like be excited for me or interested or like it.
Yeah.
Because if I'm talking about it and you know it's what I love and they don't really care, then it hurts my feelings so much. Vice versa, like if someone was super into like making figurines or something, like I'd want to be excited for them, or making their own clothes, like.
So just being supportive and encouraging, I think is a bigger one, and maybe sharing some common interests. And maybe it doesn't necessarily have to be a hobby, but having things that you guys like to do together is
It's
obviously
nice.
important.
Yeah.
It's pretty important to share at least a few.
I think so.
I'm pretty adventurous, so I like to try new things, but if you don't have a few things in common, at least, then you're never both going to be enjoying yourselves fully at the same time.
Yeah. And as much as
So-
I think it's important that you have hobbies that you both enjoy separately, like I think it's important to have your own thing going on and kind of have your own life and interests, but if you don't have anything in common,
Yeah.
it seems very fun in the beginning and
Yeah.
spontaneous and new
Yeah,
and
exactly.
exciting, but then you get to a point where you're like, I don't want to sit and watch sports all day.
Yeah.
Like, I want to do something else. So
Right.
it's finding that balance, I think.
So I think it's one thing if you met doing that hobby and you obviously both enjoy it, and that's like an easy thing you can do together.
Right, like if
But-
you met in a fitness class or something.
Yeah, but I think I think it's important to just be interested in each other's hobbies because it's that person's hobby. So it may be something that you're not really into, but if you're like, say you're really into sports and you hang out with a girl and she's like, oh my god, I hate sports, and you want to go to a game with her and she complains about it, like that's not cool. And
Yeah.
vice versa if it's the other way around. Like just be interested in it for that person. Like just showing interest in what they're doing, even if it's outside of your comfort zone or nothing you've ever been exposed to before. I think it's really important to at least care about the other person's hobbies. I don't think you need to share them necessarily because it kind of makes things more interesting if you're into different things and you can both learn from each other.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think just having some sort of underlying interest or common interest so that you guys can enjoy doing things together.
Yeah,
Like that's more important than I think sharing a hobby.
correct. I
Because
agree.
interests are different than hobbies sometimes.
100%.
Turn-offs on a first date.
So this could go, I feel like, in two extremes. They either talk way too much about themselves, or you feel like you're at an interrogation table.
Yeah.
So like both of them are major turnoffs, because if they talk too much about themselves, then it's like, okay, are you even gonna listen to me? Do you even care about?
Like
Getting
narcissist
to-
vibes going on.
Yeah, which with the narcissist vibes, it could be either extreme because they're either trying to get to know everything about you,
Yep,
or they just only care about themselves.
100%.
Which,
That's a good one.
Yeah, so that's a good, honestly, like a red flag to look out for too.
Bragging about, the money they make or the things they have or how good they are at things, like it just oozes insecurity.
Yep.
And you shouldn't be trying that hard to sell yourself on that sounds really bad. You shouldn't be trying so hard to make somebody like you.
To like prove yourself.
Yeah, like you should just be able to be yourself. And if you're trying to go over the top, they're gonna pick up on that. And it's
Oh, for
really
sure.
obvious and it's super unattractive. And the other person's gonna be more likely to probably shut down and be like, oh my god, you're so
Like,
not.
why is he trying so hard?
Yeah, why are you trying so hard? Exactly.
Being on your phone, like just have your phone put away. Like there's no need.
Yes.
And I'm a hypocrite for saying this because I'm always late, but like just don't be late.
Yeah.
Especially for a first date.
That's important. Like you want to make a good first impression.
Yeah.
What would you recommend a guy to do if his friends don't like his partner or his girlfriend? Or like even for you, like if your friends didn't like your boyfriend, like what would be some advice that you would give?
I feel like it takes a lot for a friend to like tell you straight up they don't like who you're with.
Yeah.
So I would probably take it pretty seriously, but then, kind of like dig and find out why and what the reasons are.
Well, it depends on why.
There's always more to it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I have a really great friend group, so they wouldn't just be, not like my partner for some like arbitrary reason. I feel like it would be because they don't treat me right or we are not good together. Maybe I don't treat them right. And really listening and thinking and reflecting, I guess. I don't know. I would need like a super specific example, I guess.
Right. I'm just thinking about from my own personal experience. Anytime my friends or my family didn't like the person I was dating, it was always for a very good reason.
Right.
And you ignore it because you obviously love or really like the person
Yeah.
that you're with. But your family knows you and your friends know you. And a lot of times they know what's good for you and what's not. And if you value those relationships with your friends and family, I think it's important to take their opinion into consideration.
I guess the one thing that I would really say too on this is like, so if your friends don't like your partner and you really love your friends and your partner, you need to make sure that that doesn't wedge you away from your friends, because that's what usually happens is then that you, will just get closer and closer to your partner and it wedges you farther away.
Yep.
And then if they're hurting you or the relationship is bad or whatever, you're kind of isolated, which is really scary.
And you feel
then,
so alone.
Yeah, and then your friends get more mad at you. It's like you just got to keep communicating and keeping time for everyone and making sure that you don't get isolated like that.
That's for any relationship too. I think
Yeah.
a lot of times people will get into a relationship and then completely forget about everyone else in their life. And it's
Yeah.
like you have to keep those relationships going that mean a lot to you.
Yeah.
From personal experience, if it's a friend that knows you and loves you and cares about you, if they don't like them, it's probably a red flag.
100%.
Because they have the best interest out for you. And again, that's why I say as long as it's one of your friends that you truly know has the best interest for you, they're going to see things that you might not see if you're really into the person.
Always.
So I was thinking about this. I think there are two sides. So if your friends don't maybe make the best choices in men themselves, then take it with a grain of salt if they give you their opinion. But generally speaking, I think most people value the opinions of their friends and those around them. So if they are pointing out red flags that you're not seeing, I think sometimes girls' reactions is to get mad and upset and be like, you don't know what you're talking about, like, you know, whatever. But I promise that they are seeing things that you're not going to see because you are blinded by the excitement of this person or whatever it is that's drawing you to them. It's really hard to see those things. So if you don't agree with them, at least take what they said, keep it in the back of your mind, and maybe just be a little bit more aware of your interactions with that person and see if you can maybe see what they're seeing.
I've been in that situation before and it's totally true. You're blinded. You want this person to be something that they are not, and you don't see it, but everyone around you does.
Right.
What is the difference between a guy that is cocky versus confident?
So when you can almost just tell by their demeanor, somebody who is confident can walk in a room and they just know who they are and they're not afraid to be that person. Somebody who's cocky walks in a room and they need the validation from everybody in the room. And that's very easy to pick up on if you're aware of it. Yeah, right away.
It's like the cocky people have to prove something
Yes.
or impress you.
Exactly.
It's like the people who flex all the time on social media, all of their designer things or how much money they make. It's like when you actually have those things and you're confident and secure in who you are, you don't need to flex that. There's nothing to prove.
I feel like cocky is like, I can have this, this, and this. I can get this. Like I'm blah, blah, blah. And like a confident guy isn't doubting themselves in a relationship. Like I feel like a cocky guy can cheat on their girlfriend and be like, well, she's not gonna get anything better, so like she has to stay with me or something. But like a confident guy in a different scenario, like wouldn't be jealous or worried that their partner was messing around because they're confident in themselves in the relationship. I think confidence is really attractive. Sometimes it's easier said than done. Everyone is insecure. Everyone.
Every single person on the planet.
It's just about like working through it and like.
I think cocky people are often very insecure. Like they're not even confident. They're just so insecure that they feel this need to be like brash and arrogant and like prove things. And it's like when you're confident, you don't need to do any of that.
Honestly, it's like sad too because I feel like it's almost the most insecure. Like it's just like trying to fill something. I don't know. But it's hard. Like I can't really give advice on that. Like everyone struggles on either ends of the spectrum with that. Like whether you're really cocky or you're just plain insecure and you don't know how to even act confident.
Yeah.
It's just like an internal struggle.
But I think knowing that everyone goes through that also makes you feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
Like you're not alone.
Cocky equals insecure and confident equals humble, in my opinion, because you're not going out of your way to prove to people why you're so good or why you're so smart or whatever it is. If you're confident, you just are how you are, and you can read that on a person. You can tell immediately when someone walks into a room if they're confident or not.
Yep.
And you can also tell if they're insecure, and then they're trying to make up for it by talking about certain things or wearing like expensive things, whatever it is, and talking about that.
Yep.
So there's just a fine line, and it all comes down to insecure versus secure.
Totally. 100%. If you guys liked this video or found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to be in the loop for when I release new content. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. I love connecting with all of you guys on there as well. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.